Hello, everyone. I'm Marty and along with my good buddy Ken Brown, we are your host of the local sports wrap-up here on Wyandotte Cable Channel 15. What's today? The 25th of January. Happy birthday, Chantel.
Yeah, happy birthday, wife. Love you.
That's right.
Yeah.
We got to get that in early because
early and often.
That's right. Yeah. Get that in all the time. And so you're here on her birthday.
Yeah.
But it's all good?
Yeah, and she had the greatest weekend. It was the best football we'd seen in a long time, right?
She likes that stuff?
Yeah, she tolerates it. Yeah, she tolerates it.
Okay, you like that stuff. She watches it with you.
Yeah. And it's good. Like, I don't know, pro football, obviously, this weekend you had the divisional round, and there was 4 excellent games.
I would agree.
What was your favorite for the weekend?
You know, I didn't watch much of Saturday. I was out and about doing stuff, but I did watch the late game. But I'll say one thing, that Sunday night game was just amazing. It was amazing how good. And now the big talk is, do we give both teams the ball in overtime? And you know what? You have to play D, okay? You lose the coin flip because you called tails. But you have to play D. Yeah. You have to play defense.
Force a field goal.
It's half of the game.
Yeah,
it's half of the game. Defense is half of the game. You're going to take it out. The other thing, you could do the college thing where they start on the 25-yard line.
Yeah.
And then everybody gets the ball. No.
I think that diminishes it. I think you're right that you got to play defense. I think that also that the San Francisco Green Bay game showed that special teams can win it.
Right.
So it's like everywhere, all over the place where, you know, whether it's defense, offense, whatever you like. And
all aspects of the football game you have to play.
And I thought that Kansas City game it just reminded me, and I'm dating myself somewhat, but what was that? San Diego Chargers, 1982 against the Cincinnati Bengals. San Diego played Miami to get to the Bengals and lose in the snow game. And then come to the Silverdome to play. But that was like the level, 41-38, 42-36. It was like all go. We're in fantasy playoffs. It was awesome, man. It was a great weekend.
They can look back and dissect that game, but how do you kick off with 13 seconds left and lose the football game? They were hugging and everything on the sidelines. The game was over.
Yeah.
You know, and then you give them 2 plays and they're in field goal range. Yeah. You let them get 50 yards or whatever.
Look like the Michigan State clock operator, right? It's kind of slow, you know, but at the same time, Hill gets in, Kelsey catches one, they all the timeout, so that's good coaching. You got all your timeouts to end the game. Man, it was classic, man.
I will say I'm no referee, but when they screened past it to Hill, there was a lineman about 10 yards down the field that they didn't throw a flag on. Just saying for all you Buffalo fans out there, there was a lineman way down the field.
And for the local aspect, right, Matthew Stafford wins his second playoff game.
That was another good game. Yeah. The late game on Saturday.
Yeah.
Was that the late game on Saturday?
Yeah. No, it was 3 o'clock game, but Stafford ended up pulling it out, right?
That was the Sunday game. Right.
Morning at 3, yeah.
But he got the ball back after almost fumbling it and threw two great passes, and they got the field goal with time running out. That was just the NFL can it get better than that this weekend?
I don't think so.
How?
I don't think so.
You know, does Cincinnati have a prayer in Kansas City?
Yeah, they beat them 34-31 on January 2nd.
Oh, no kidding!
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Joe Burrow, man, watch him. No, it's gonna be a great weekend. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, there's our local sports for the day.
Local sports wrap.
All right, let's start with my bowling team. We got a nice break. Talk about girls' sports for a second. Lincoln Park just took down Taylor, and so we're a half game out of first.
Okay.
So I like that. And we took care of our business, and then tomorrow we got to do that again against Carlson, and then next week we got Trenton. That's a big match, but about the next 2 weeks, I told them all today at practice, got to have you all in.
Can you go practice at Trenton's house?
Yes.
Okay.
And actually, there's a tournament this Sunday. We'll be there.
Okay.
And 10 o'clock, anyone wants to come watch. The boys bowl on Saturday.
Okay.
And, hopefully we get all our throws in and get used to the lanes there. But we had a practice there last week because Woodhaven blew a fuse. And thank Ronnie Sheeler, good guy, boys coach. He calls me and says, hey, I can get lanes at Trenton. I said, do it. And so we went and practiced there, right next to the Trenton team. So that was good.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, you're a good coach. And if you can go in there and it's not unfamiliar territory, those girls will be better. They'll be better for it.
Oh, because we're solid at our place, but we do struggle sometimes at other houses. And it's just, I mean, they spot 10 pins at every single house. I try to explain to them. It's the same width. Remember Hoosiers?
Yeah.
Guy goes in, he says, hey, last I checked, that's a 10-foot basket.
Yeah, you got your tape measure?
Yeah.
Gene Hackman, great movie.
Yes, and it's the same. The lanes might be oiled a little thicker, might be a little tighter, or it might be less tighter, but that's why we learn to play the whole lane.
That's right.
But, yeah, good luck to the Ladies Bears.
They'll do it.
I don't know what to expect. We went into a tournament. I don't know how to treat them. Going to have a party. All right, so let's say
you said
big basketball game last week.
Okay.
Rouge and Ecorse.
Wow. Yeah, nail biter, right?
Yeah.
Rouge and host Ecorse hit a combined 22 three-pointers between the two teams, right?
That's amazing in
22,
itself.
and that shows you how the games change, And in my era, that's when the three-point line came to high school. But 22 threes between the two teams, that just shows Steph Curry has an effect and an impact on basketball.
In my era, it wasn't there, but the guy that could hit the long shot was golden because you could kick it out to him, and there was no arc.
I got you.
But the guy, you could kick it out to him, and he could just drain that. It was only worth 2. But
now he's sucking the defense out, so now you can throw it in. Yeah, Pistol Pete or something like that, probably, right?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. However, the most important points of the night came courtesy of an easy layup. So they steal the ball with less than 10 seconds, and he goes down court and he shoots the layup, and they win it after shooting
the buzzer
threes
goes
all
off
day.
right when he throws it up there.
And I think that the coolest part is that the Ecorse coach is actually a River Rouge alum, right? So this is his 3rd year at Ecorse. He was saying it was his first time ever beating them, right? He hadn't beaten them yet. So we give a shout out to Coach Gerard Abram, who was a 1990 graduate of River Rouge High School. That's a great year as well. That's the year I came out of high school. So Ecorse actually knocked off the number 9 rated team in the state of Michigan, which was River Rouge.
They came in undefeated, Rouge.
Yeah.
5-time regional champs, Rouge. And I'm sure they'll meet them again.
Yeah, but see, I'm thinking that just based on the size of those cities, I bet you Ecorse is division lower than Rouge.
2, maybe?
Probably 5, right?
Oh,
there's probably 150 kids or something in that school.
Yeah,
but that's good for them once they get to the playoffs. Now they can just dust through, unless they got them playing up or something. But no, I think that's good for both. That little community is really close. When I coached baseball at Kimney Center, those were like rival communities. So now they're both about something in basketball. I think that's kind of cool for the downriver area. So, yeah. And so the Panthers actually finished with 10 threes, so that means Ecorse had 12, right? It was 22 in the game. So those little kids are firing it up, shooting it. Tyler Hamilton had the game high 22 points. He had 5 threes. He plays for Rouge. Great name here, Memphis McDowell, wrapped up with 15 points, including a pair of threes himself.
Pretty good. It seemed like it must have been just rocking. Where was the game? Do we know? Do we have that anywhere on here? But
no, I don't see it. I'm going to say it was in Ecorse.
Might be a safe bet, because the crowd was probably rocking. But 58 to 60, 60 to 58, and that just had to be electric. Everybody rushing the court and celebration and all that.
I think that whether it's high school basketball or college basketball, where it's amateur basketball, it's like the most hyped crowds you'll ever see, and people can get on a roll, and you see that, and it's a lot of fun.
And one thing about, the whole basketball thing is that, can I dare say you're only as good as your last game, who they play next might make a big difference, but it's a good stepping stone, as the coach said, we needed this. Yeah. We needed this, because as coaches, when they have success, then they're like, what you're teaching me is working. If you're not having success, the kids will bail. The kids will rebel.
Yeah, less likely to buy in to what you're talking about.
And then once you get the success, they buy in, and that's so important.
Yeah, but I don't think it hurts that you beat your crosstown rival either, right? So now you got street cred as well as winning in Michigan high school. What about the cheerleaders? Do they affect basketball?
Yeah, before we hit them, though, let's talk about
Wyandotte basketball.
Yeah, they were 500 for the week. I mean, they had to catch Taylor, and they lost to Taylor. Don't have the number there.
51-48.
51-48. Okay, that's a 5. And then they bounced back and took care of Lincoln Park, 45-34. So that was good. And on the girls' side, they lost to Taylor 52-42, which obviously Taylor is solid. But then they turned around, played Lincoln Park, and give them a shell-shocking 64-17.
Wow!
And so they were getting the ball to the hoop. They had a good matchup, whatever that matchup was.
All right. And if you think about when we first started basketball season, Wyandotte wasn't scoring 20. The girls weren't scoring 20 points. We were sitting here saying, they're going to get better. They're going to get better. And it's proof in the pudding right there, right? They got 42 and then they got 64, let alone holding them to 17. So those girls are getting better.
Yeah, that's they are putting the ball. They found a play that works. You know, maybe they're feeding the ball inside. Maybe they got somebody that can hit that 15-footer. You know, and they're hitting it consistently. We really don't know. That's for another show that talks to the coaches. We also have Gabriel Richard on here. They're local. 54-36 for the boys over Bishop Foley. And on the other side, the girls' side, they lost to Shrine 41-37. We haven't charted a lot of them, but I will say the Wyandotte numbers, even for the boys, they're starting to score more. And if you're getting improvement, again, then they buy in. If they don't buy in, you lose them. I don't want to dog out our teams, but I think that's a lot of the softball teams' problem.
Yeah, you got to keep them. Yeah, you got to keep them. And while you're hot, the other thing that we used to get back in the day in January is we get that kid that wasn't eligible in December. So once the report cards start coming and you start getting new players, that didn't happen for you. Okay.
That's an interesting topic to discuss about grades because I every now and then I go through it with a girl who the teacher, they do a lot of online classes and they do a lot of in-class classes. And maybe there's 3 assignments that she hasn't turned in.
Yeah.
And it's affecting your grade. And you just have to say, I'm sorry, you have to get with the teacher. You like bowling? You like being on this team? Get with the teacher and get this squared away. Because I get the call from Paige at the athletic department, and they'll say, so-and-so's, got a D, flunking whatever class, we got to get her going. And I have a talk with her and her parents, and, oh, you didn't hear? Sometimes parents don't know. And I say, listen, we got to get this squared away. We need her in the lineup. That's right. And it's probably no different in all the other sports.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're right with the online school. Just being on a travel card or something like that, a week-to-week study situation, you could be in trouble if you had missed a few assignments online. You're right. I didn't even think of that.
Just didn't turn them in. Just didn't. But I did them. They were still in your folder. Whatever. Square it up with the teacher. You're again. With age comes responsibility. There's a couple girls on the team don't like to hear that. They don't like to hear, with age comes responsibility. It'd be great to be a kid for the rest of our lives. Yeah. But, especially you get that driver's license, you become responsible with that.
Sure.
Yes. I used to tell the high school kids at hockey the same thing. Know where you're shooting that puck. If there's a kid over there wiping all the pucks out of the net and you come charging in there, you don't get to shoot it because he's clearing them out. You got, with age comes responsibility, man.
That's right.
I sound like an adult.
Yeah, you sound like a dad.
Wyandotte Cheer did a great job this week. They finished first at their own invitational. They hosted the 19th annual Wyandotte Competitive Cheer Invitational on Saturday, and the Bears defended their home floor. They finished first in Division I. They scored the most points in a day, which was a very, very strong field.
Yeah. The Bears landed first with 765 points. The home team scored 234 points in round 1, 227 in round 2, and 303 in the final round. Saline came in second. with 7:25.
40 back.
Yeah, they're 40 back, and then Temperance Bedford took the third place. 7-18.
Livonia Stevenson, they wrapped up the day, finished fourth with 709 points. Wayne Memorial was fifth, 539, and Taylor High was sixth with 523. Congrats to our D1 school kids and cheer. Again, my buddy's kid had 3 daughters. He lived through that, and he says you can tell the good teams from the bad teams. I wouldn't know, and you wouldn't know, but they gotta be
tight.
Gotta be in sync. Yep. And then D2, highly competitive. Dearborn Divine Child, they jumped to first place. They had 746 points. And Southgate Anderson was very close. They had 745.92. So they were 0.38 behind the champs.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's see the third round scores. Dearborn Divine 288.70. There it is, and 287.10. So wow, that was a tight first 2 matches. Landing in third, Riverview, the Pirates. So good showing for a couple of local teams there.
I wonder why, and I know we won't figure it out on today's show, but I wonder why the third round always seems so much higher. Is it less teams participating? Are they giving more points in that third round? If they got 287 and they was getting 220, 230, and the same happened with the if somebody knows, they can email us at
local sports wrap up at gmail.com.
Because that's cool. I mean, it looks like the kids got better and better as the time went on, and then they actually did really well in the third round. So
maybe the formula. Here's another thing. Maybe the formula is multiplied by a higher factor. Maybe your first 2 factors are you multiply by 1.5, and maybe the last one's by 3 or something like that. I don't know,
okay.
But that could be.
That makes sense.
It's just a shot in the dark there for a guy that doesn't know cheer.
It's really close.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
And there was a huge swim meet at Woodhaven this last Saturday. Yeah, it was called the Downriver Classic Swim and Dive Invitational. It made its much anticipated return because apparently, maybe through COVID, they couldn't have it because you were limited to how many bodies you could have. They went from, when we were bowling, we went from having 9 schools in attendance, boys and girls, to having 2 schools. 4. Boys, girls, in a whole bowling center with no parents.
Yeah.
That was last year, which sometimes is a good thing.
Yeah.
I like our parents, though. So, but they had it. It's always been in Allen Park, and Woodhaven has a whole new swim set up there, so they host it.
Yeah. So the Woodhaven boys actually won that Downriver Classic. Behind first place finishes in 6 of the 12 events, the Warriors amassed 352 points on their way to the championship. Woodhaven was one of 10 teams present on Saturday. Actually, Wyandotte Roosevelt actually had 199 points, and that looks like that was good for second. Runner-up in the swim meet. Trenton had 181, and they placed third. The Riverview Pirates, the Swimming Pirates, that is, they had 155. Allen Park 147, Carlson 134, Etzel Ford 73. Cabrini had 52, Flat Rock 44, and Lincoln Park and Southgate Anderson Co-op had 31, so they're combined.
They're combined. Interesting.
Wow. Must didn't have enough swimmers.
First we learned about that.
Yeah.
For Roosevelt, we had Makura. I'm not sure of his first name. We'll find it later. We got an article on that. He was first in the breaststroke, which, good for him.
Yeah.
So that helped us, I'm sure, with the 199 points. I'm curious how the scoring goes in that, because it's most points where, a lot of these other things, track and field, you finish first, second, fifth, sixth, you've got 14 points.
I got you.
In swimming, though, you get 352 for the Woodhaven champs.
Yeah.
That's another one you can email us to, local sports wrap-up.
Yeah, we want to learn. We're not too old to learn.
I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I got interviewed today for the school paper.
Oh, yeah?
That was also part of the delay. And the girl asked me like 10 questions, stock questions while her phone rang. And one of them was like, what do you think of the season? And what's your goals? Well, our goal's to get them better.
Yeah.
That's the goal. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Was it one of your actual bowlers, or was it a kid from the paper came out?
Yep.
Okay.
Then they took pictures for the yearbook. It was picture day. We were in uniform.
Okay.
It was pretty cool. I threw some balls with the girls to get my old body loose.
Yeah, for
tomorrow.
Yeah.
So good for Mr. Bakira. We'll figure out his first name next. There were a few other good things that happened in that there.
Yeah, Carlson's Conroy, he actually won the backstroke in 53.27 seconds on Saturday.
In the process, he actually secured
he broke his own record in Woodhaven, and he hit the D2 state cut. So he's already qualified for the state playoffs.
Yeah, in swimming, that's kind of how the process works. If you set a time, you're in. I think track and field's the same way. If you set a time anytime during the season and you run that time, bang, you're set up into the states.
Yeah, you can start stretching, right?
That's right.
Paulie must have came in second with 56 seconds. 56.79 was next for Allen Park, and he also qualified for the D2 state meet. Roosevelt's Passuth, 59.10 rounded out the top three, and it didn't say that he made it, so it must have been under 57 seconds.
That would probably be close. Yeah, that's moving though.
Yeah, it's going fast.
That's the 100. That's 4 lengths.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it could be their 50s, so it's 2 lengths. That's moving though.
Yeah, I can't drink that much water.
It's tough.
Will that make you faster?
I don't know.
If you swallowed it.
I just think I'd be swallowing more water than I would.
You need gills. If you have gills, you don't have to ever come up for air.
Right, animal Pisces, but now it doesn't matter.
What's the other kid?
The other thing that we had at Roosevelt, now, they were second at this Woodhaven thing, and I have a funny feeling we're not in the same division as them for like D1, D2 for swimming, because we're 5-0 in the league here. We took down Edsel Ford the last meet there, and it was 129-75 last Thursday night. The Bears are now 5-0 on the season.
That's the boys?
Yeah.
All right.
Girls swim at the beginning of the year in the fall. Okay. That's when the girls swim.
I think a kind of cool thing is the Bears actually went 1-2 in the 200 freestyle with Jack Valduva and Caden Suave.
I know that name, Suave.
That's what they used to call you, right?
They were 1-2 in the freestyle, 1-2 in the 200 IM with Mr. Mercura again.
It's like 1 minute.
And Hinoja second. And Edsel picked up a first place in the 50 freestyle. Brett Reel is his name. Caden Suave. There we go. We like to announce the kids' names.
That's right. Hey, let's not forget about the Trenton Showcase, right? That's going to be February 4th. Byron Center's coming here. This is hockey. They play Trenton. Southgate's playing Woodhaven. And Wyandotte's actually going to play Grand Rapids, Forest Hills. And then Allen Park's going to play Grosse Ile on the 5th. Gabriel Richard will play Carlson. Grosse Ile will play Allen Park. And then Trenton will play Muskegon Mona Shores.
Very nice, very nice. And upcoming games, let's see here. Gabriel Richard's playing in basketball. They're going to play on the 28th. They're going to play Cranbrook. That seems like a tough battle there.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Cranbrook's definitely a smart school. I didn't know they had an athletic program. That's cool.
Let's see, boys basketball. We've got 1:20. That's today. They're playing Carlson today.
That's a win.
That's a win?
That's a win.
And we've got Southgate on the 1st.
That's a win.
That's a win, too. Okay, then we got Woodhaven on the 4th.
We'll see how we go with those other two.
I like the way you think. Where are the girls? Girls basketball. So we have same thing. Carlson playing them right now on the 25th today. They're away in Carlson. On the 1st they play Southgate, and then they play Woodhaven. So there's your schedule for the girls in the next few weeks. We have a freshman basketball team. You know, there's a lot of high schools around that just don't have the bodies to have a 9th grade team.
Or the money.
Yeah, or the money. True. We have a 9th grade. I have a 9th grade volleyball team that has to play a bunch of JV kids, and softball, same thing. You know, that they have to play a bunch of, JV teams. So it's good that we get the participation in those things.
And the best part is all those kids get experience, just like you were talking about your JV girls go down to the other end and then they get a chance to bowl, get live bowling. Same with the 9th graders. You know, you want to get
it. Again. It happened again.
Well, they bowled 260 down there.
Yeah. I had 3 girls and I was keeping 2. And I was like, well, who wants to go down? And one girl says, I'll go down. You know, we're playing a weaker opponent, and I should probably bring some of the other ones up. But can't take anything for granted. And she goes down there, shoots a $150, $130. She's higher than 3 of my regulars, And I'm like, without naming names, I'm like, why are you so comfortable down there? They bowl. And I said, that feeling you have when you're over there, you have to bring up here. I know it's varsity, but it's just bowling. I mean, I get it, okay? I get it that, adrenaline is something we all have to learn to control. No matter if you're nervous for a test, or if you're nervous for, you've got a free throw line, you got to sink one, to tie the game. Adrenaline is something you have to learn to control. But she goes down there and lights it up, and when I bring her up to the top, then somebody else over there lights it up. It's just nuts.
Yeah, you can't win.
It's like we're going to have to play it, get it to go there. So as we wrap up, and don't forget, you can watch us on YouTube, Local Sports Wrap Up on our YouTube, and don't forget to subscribe. We need more than the 40 subscribers we have.
Yeah, come on.
Get all your buds, man. Get your buds. And I already got all mine. That's the 40 that I know, see? And big weekend, another big weekend of football coming up.
Yeah.
These should be good games, but look at how the home field advantage switched when the number ones got knocked out. You get a week off, and apparently having an extra week off doesn't help because Green Bay only scored 10 points. Come on.
Hey, I was just listening to the radio, and they were saying that over the last 30 years, they've either had Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers as quarterback, and those teams won 2 Super Bowls. Over the last 30 years with 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Here's a fun fact.
Overrated.
Matthew Stafford pulls this off and wins the Super Bowl. He will have the same amount of Super Bowl wins as Aaron Rodgers.
Say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, does he belong in the Hall of Fame also? He's got the stats, he's got the yardage, he's got the completions. There's a fun fact for
I think you got a point. And he's going to have a machine where he may go back next year. I mean, the Rams are built to last, I think.
Yeah, you got to get by, you're going to have to get by that crazy Kansas City team. And like you said, Cincinnati took them down already. Going to be a fun weekend. Hope your squares hit. That's all I got to say. And we got to wrap up. We're getting a signal. It's always fun. Happy birthday, Chantel. You're glad you were born. All right.
Yeah.
That's one thing my wife likes to say. We're glad you were born.
That's right.
And Ken's going to be home shortly.
Yeah, I'll be there.
So maybe he'll take you out to dinner.
He's putting the pressure on. Go.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to get a hold of us. Email us with the answers to the questions that we don't know. Ken, always a pleasure, and we will see you next week.